So T.I. came out in an interview, which actually was in a podcast, and he basically said that he checks with his 18-year-old daughter's doctor if her hymen is still intact because he wants to make sure she's preserving her virginity. I think a lot of people will say it's his daughter, don't interfere with how he parents her. I wouldn't disagree. I don't go up to other people who are raising their kids and tell you, don't do it this way. That being said, he got in the public sphere. He put it out there. So he put it out there for people to comment. If you don't want people to comment on your parenting, don't publicize it. How you want to raise your child is your business.
But
did your daughter consent to you sharing that information? When she signed that document saying you get to know what happens in that gynecologist appointment,
that was you.
Did she say you get to share it with the whole world? Isn't that a violation of her privacy? Didn't you think about how that would affect her personally? Not just the fact that everyone knows, but how people might bully her. Because like, oh, here comes the virgin again. Because being a virgin is stigmatized. And we know that she's not happy about it because she's been liking tweets on Twitter all day about how inappropriate this is. She didn't consent. If your parent who controls all your finances and controls your life is sitting beside you in the doctor's office and says, yeah, sign this right now, that's not consent. Another issue I have with this, I understand these are Christian values. There's nothing wrong with that. If you want to believe in virginity till marriage, live your life. I have no problem.
We're talking about Christian values? Christian values? It's like you do or you don't. I'm going to be Christian with my daughters, and I'm going to be slanging and banging in the street. Like, what? No.
Here's my problem. This is not even just a T.I. thing. You'll notice this with a lot of rappers, a lot of people who work in the entertainment industry who are fine with dehumanizing women in their music, but then getting offended when someone they know, their wives or daughters, are dehumanized.
Well, I guess we should talk about that.
Who did the ghost of the bitter bitch like a whiff of cocoa butter pass? And I was like, oh, that was here.
Sorry about that.
I'm tired of men trying to protect their wives and daughters from men like themselves. Right? You can't spend your whole life talking about these issues, and then when it's your daughter and your wife, you'd be like, no, I can't let that happen to her.
Kanye, we're talking to you too.
When you were doing it to somebody else's wife, someone else's daughter, and you were fine with disrespecting them. But your daughter and your wife, we gotta respect. Makes me realize that T.I. has this problem when it comes to how he views women in general. If you watch the podcast with him and Tiny, he literally looks at his wife and says,
still like the breadwinner, she still may come home and cook for you, give you sex and do everything that
give you sex?
Yeah.
What you mean give you sex?
Give you.
Man, that's in the contract, man. That come with
it.
Make
sure you're
Ain't no giving
pleased.
Me nothing. See, that's the thing now.
Make sure you're pleased whenever you, know.
See, you can't be rationing out stuff talking about what you're gonna give nobody, because what's yours is mine, what's mine is yours.
Yeah, but
so that means that little thing you got, that little sex box you got, is half mine. So you pick which side you want, and that's yours, and then the rest of it is mine.
What?
Bruh, you are tripping.
Yup. Tip, I guess you tripping. Your name should be Trip.
All right, so in this episode, we got a lot of tips for you. Call it Tip Drill.
Oh!
You can have whatever you like. You can have whatever you like. Sends the idea that if you have sex as a young woman, that you are inherently doing something shameful and disgusting.
Yes.
And I'm sure that's not a kind of message that he sends to his own sons. In fact, apparently his 15-year-old son bragged about having sex on tour. So, there's also that double standard that exists.
On one side, you're going to say you're going to keep your hymen. On the other side, you're going to high-five a dude because he's dicking down people.
I think that's pretty much all we have. So leave your comments below. Boom.
Wake your mom, sleep aloud, hit the paper. Wake your mom, wake your mom, take your time, hit the paper. Wake your mom.
If you guys aren't aware, we've just started selling merchandise. You guys have been asking, you've been hounding us, being like, yo, when y'all gonna sell some shirts and shit? So here we are. We wanted to make sure it was actually really nice clothing, really good quality. So we have, you know what I'm saying, an original throwback. Remember the pussy?
You do!
You on Albert Preach long sleeve shirts, you know what I mean? Those are gonna be, yo, listen, we got some nice artwork done on these shirts.
If ever, you want to double down on being the property of someone, get it! Ooh!